G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, beautiful days, 17 overnight, 26 through the day. A little breezy, Saturday was quite breezy. Young Freya, the granddaughter that we had a bit of strife with early in the year with her heart surgery and all that. Well, she turned 2, so we ended up going down to Baler, down to, I think it's called Christensen's Park, and we had a little second birthday party for her there, and there's some nice picnic tables there and all sorts of toys. It's a playground, big slippery dips for the bigger kids and little ones for the little kids and all that. So Freya had a birthday party and it was good. She was worn out towards the end of it, but it gave us a chance to catch up with like Ellie's mum and her grandma Molly, and my brother come up and his partner Nikki. They got a bub coming along, so it was good to meet Nikki. We'd never met her before. Seems lovely, and and Dale. It was just a good thing, but that took up all the Saturday. By the time we went there, then it was like a morning tea thing, and it finished about 1 o'clock or so. So we sat and had a yarn and had a bit of birthday cake. Bright rainbow birthday cake, and the colour was so vivid. But anyway, that's beside the point. And then we're coming back to town, and Jude says, it'd be nice if we went out for lunch. And I said, all right then, so off we went. And with no expense spared, the burrito bar's where we ended up. Did a little bit of shopping and came home. But by the time you come home, well, the day's buggered. So we sat and had a beer, and didn't do anything at all Saturday. It seems a bit of a waste of a day, but look, that's just how it is. You've got to do that now and then. Friday afternoon I got the little baler out, and I just put out a little short on the baler, but that was just a little short of it running. Yesterday morning I come up here and I had an old bale of hay. It's an old bale of lucerne that, look, I had it with the baler and I hadn't run the baler for years. Once a few members years ago were kicking up about where we parked and all that. Excuse me, just got the cool air nose going. Once I had a bit of a kerfuffle, I thought, he can stay there. So the bale of hay is quite old. And I was putting the bales of hay through, cycling all the old bales out. I washed it on Friday afternoon, the baler, and the hay that was in there, I don't know how long it had been in there, but I chuffed it out the end and I took it up the house and gave it to Judy for a mulch around her garden. And I put some of this dry old bale through. Well, and I've taken footage at the end of the stew. There's footage of the baler. I start off with tying a bale, and I actually tie the bale with oxy welding wire. Now, the reason I choose oxy welding wire is it's very soft, so you can poke it through the boards and bring it back down and put a twitch in the back. So I start the little video off with tying a bale, and I just stuff hay in until it chuffs along, and you've got to put a board in when I've got a nick down the side of it that tells me it's time to put another board in. And once I put the board in, that gives me a 14-inch long bale by 7 inches wide by 5 inches high. And look, it's a good little thing. I do enjoy playing with it. But what was happening was the bale of hay I was using was so dry, when I picked up a handful of it to put in the bale chamber, all the leaf was falling off, and the leaf would sit down the bottom of the bale chamber, so I was having trouble getting nice even bales. But we're taking it out to Bundy show, not this coming weekend, the weekend after. We're going to camp out there and we're going to make some bales of hay. Peter Woodforth, my mate out there, his daughter and son-in-law have a lucerne property out that way, and so they're going to bring me in, I think it's 4 bales of lucerne, and we're going to put it through the process, and you end up with these little bales. And I said, well, why don't we just sell them there, and let's give the money to charity. I don't know, I said, have a talk to your son-in-law and pick a charity. So what they've done, pardon me, is we've given them a bit of a donation from Queensland Tractor Spares. Where they're going to have a few tractor games, we're going to put a Queensland Tractor Spares banner up there, and then where we got the little baler, we're going to have a little Queensland Tractor Spares 3-metre gazebo that we own, and it gives us a bit of shelter and through the day, so you're not sitting out there in the sun. And so yeah, I'm not sure Pete's son-in-law's name. I've never met him, but we will no doubt. And he's in Rotary and helps with the show out there and that. And yeah, country people help in country towns, don't they? And so he come back with that. Would I be happy to sell them for the CWA, which is the Country Women's Association? They said that it's not hard to get money out of people's pockets for kindergartens and sporting clubs and all that, but the Country Women's Association, the CWA, that they provide country women with company, and they have a meeting, they get together and they might have a cook up and a scone and a cup of tea and do crafts or any number of things. They raise money quite often with sandwiches and scones and things like that sometimes. Different areas, I suppose, do it differently. So he said it's not hard to get money out of people for sporting clubs and for kids, but getting money for the CWA can be a bit of a battle sometimes. So I said, well, if that's what you want to do, let's do that. So we've got to make some bales of hay. We're going to keep a couple. The suggestion is to keep a couple for an auction at the bar. So late in the afternoon, when everyone's at the bar, bloody getting a bit pissed, see if we can get $30, $40 a bale for these little things. But like we were just thinking of selling them. Selling the little ones for $5 each. No one cares about $5 really nowadays, And if we start, the idea was to sell them at the evening in an auction. But I said, well, some of the people, the country folk, or the country ladies, or people that might want one for putting on the table, or we had people wanted them one time to put on a table for a wedding. They were country folks. They had a lucerne farm, and they wanted some to put on the wedding tables, and they could put a little setting around this bale of hay. So. And we call them guinea pig bales or hamster bales, or depending which part of the world you're in, I suppose. And so we're going to try and sell them through the day and just give the money to the CWA, give it to a charity. So we don't need it, and it's just a fun display. And and what's he going to do? Me or him? What are we going to do with all these 20 or 30 or 50, however many of these little bales of hay? So that's the plan with that, but I do have a bit of footage of that at the end. Today's exercise, in about 3 weeks, we're having a big car show in Bundaberg, and it's about the 18th or 19th or something like that of May. May. Time gets away. I'm going to try and spend some time on that famous engine again today. I've got to touch up some paint where I've done some bits and pieces. I've got the wooden box half made for the back, but I'm having trouble with the top. Like I'm only using cheap pine, and they're only seconds that I'm getting out of old pallets and things, and I've glued them together, but there must still be a bit of moisture. I'm having trouble with them bending a little bit. But anyway, I'll probably pop it through the thicknesser and take the top of the hump off and turn him over and take the bottom off, and it'll end up 10 mil thick, 3/8 or something like that. So I've got the box cut out. I don't know if it was there last week. I can't remember what I tell you sometimes. So I've got the box sitting there. We'll go for a bit of a walk at the end of the stew and I'll show you that, what I'm up to with that. I've got to do that when my hands are clean. I can't touch anything oily because it'll just stick out. And once that box is just to an acceptable level, we'll try and stain it a fairly dark colour, and then put a bit of that epoxy that we used over the top. I don't think it's epoxy, that's the wrong word. I can't even think of the polyurethane, maybe. One of them things. We'll put that over the top to seal it and try and make it dark, and then we're going to put those brass plaques on the sides and try and make it look like it's been there for 100 million years. So we'll see how we go with that, but today I do want to touch up the paint and get it ready for that show. And I was going to just take the 135 in to the show, but I was thinking, well, it's bloody near ready to go. and it's just handy here. So I can run it up onto the trailer, winch it onto the trailer, and drop it off where it needs to be, and we're good to go. So that might be its first run, I'm thinking, and then that'll be finished. Be something out of my mind. It's one of those things. I've been wanting to work on the 20 and the 65, but I just got these other little things going on, and I just want to tidy that up and get rid of them. And then I've actually got the international engine, the 434 engine we're helping the club with. I've actually got to turn up a liner puller disc for that as well. So I get myself all these little jobs, and the things I built the channel on, well, I just get chuffed to the side. Oh, it's only another week, and nuts, eh? Anyway, not to worry. Pardon me. Okay. This is a shameless plug. Well, there's a bit of a story to go to this, and Sparex sell this light, and okay, that's what they look like, Connex. The part number is S130977. They bought these out and they said, oh, we're going to push these, we're going to move a heap of this stuff. And I said, yeah, all right, give us one for stock, and away we went. But they're a little bit expensive, and people that have looked at them haven't bothered going ahead with a purchase. So coming up tax time, if that sits in stock, you can see like the box is faded. The box was far nicer than that to start with. And but anyway, what they do is, and I've been playing with it, so you get this little trailer plug. So that's your large 7-pin trailer plug, and you'll see a little aerial there. So on the 135, that big female trailer plug, the big 7, I actually use that as a junction box to run the wires out to each mudguard, each side. So I do have the large trailer plug on mine. So what happens is these lights, these are chargeable by USB. So there's a little charging port just there. And when you turn them on, there we go. You can just see that little blue pip, and there's your battery indicator light there. So what these do is, if you've got a trailer or something like that, you want it on the back of a carryall on a tractor trek, or you've got something on your tractor where you can't see your lights, this just goes bang onto the back of your tractor, and this sends a signal to that 20 metres away. So 20 metres is like 70 feet, something like that. So of course I got in the back of the 135 over here, and I took these, there's a left and a right one, so you can put them on any magnetic surface, and they're bloody hard to get off. And so I stuck them on the back of the 135 just out of interest to see how they worked, and yeah, it worked fine. I must have one of the wires in the female plug wrong, because how I've got it hooked up with my brake lights is to have the brake lights and the flashing light on, you've got to turn the ignition on. And the reason I've done that is so when I'm parked up at a show, if you just had the brake lights live all the time and you pull the handbrake on to park your tractor up, well, you'd flatten your battery because your brake lights are on. So the brake light circuit is the first, when you first click to excite your alternator comes on, well, we also send power down there. So what happens, I must have a wire under my plug wrong, and when I turn the key on, just the tail lights come on. So that's okay, you know, turn the key on and you drive along and you just got your tail lights on. So, well, I can probably live with that. But yeah, it's bloody great. I'll just turn this off so I don't forget, and it's flat next time I go to use it. And yeah, so you can turn I've got the indicators on, so you turn the indicators, and this one goes and that one goes, then the brake lights work through them and all that sort of thing. So they're just a bloody great idea. But yeah, with stock take coming up, I'm going to take them out of stock, and we're just going to have them. I'll keep them with my 135 here, and if we're out on a tractor run or something like that, and I have a light failure or something like that, or if you're towing a trailer, well, some trailers need to be registered, some don't. If you're towing a trailer and you'd like lights on it, well, you can just plug that in and put these on the trailer up to 20 metres behind you. Now, we're having a tractor trek up here, just a club one, I think first weekend in August. We're going up to Robbie's. Nicole that works for us, her dad, Robbie, he's been a friend of ours and a friend of the club for many years, and we're staying on one of his properties on the creek, and we're doing a tractor run. And once again, Pete, my mate Pete from Mount Perry, he said what they do with a tractor trek, they actually have a little trailer with a portable toilet on it, and they take that, but it doesn't have to be registered because it's an agricultural thing, part of the thing. So just poking it along, it's just when there's ladies and that there, we've got a toilet on the road sort of thing. So it's all right for us blokes, we can just find a wheel and we're good. So say I was towing that, maybe, I'll be the poo patrol. Say I was towing that and it had no lights on it, well, if there was steel on it, we could pop them on, and then whatever I was doing with the tractor would be reflected through here. So great thing. This got left hand on it. Great thing, good to play with. But yeah, look, they are a bit dear. They're like 300 and something bucks, I think, 360, something like that. So they're an expensive thing, but in an emergency situation, apparently they use them in the UK a bit on the shit trailers, from the dairies and all that. They use them for places like that, or wherever there's a chance that your lights might be out, or if they've got to shift stuff and the lights are out and they haven't got time, they can just plug this into the back of the tractor. Most modern tractors have this plug, and away you go, you've got your lights working. So that's been interesting. I've been having to fiddle with that. Yeah, I can probably do a bit of a deal on them, but even doing a deal, you're going to have your hand in your pocket fairly deep. And that's what happens with the tractor game over in England, places like that, they'd be really affordable. But by the time you get it to Australia, and your Aussie dollar's only worth £0.50 or something like that. So by the time you get it here and you do the currency rate and all that, some things just get too dear, to be realistic. So and that's a case in point, I believe. I've got a little board here at our club meetings, our Rum City Vintage Machinery Club meetings. We have a raffle. Look, it's just a way of making money for the club. A few bob to help with bits and pieces, and they do sausage sizzles at Bunnings, and often they'll get $300 profit out of that. But when we have about 25 to 30 members come to a meeting, we have a little lucky door prize. Oh, not a lucky door prize, it's a raffle, and you buy a ticket, and I don't even know how much they are, but I always just give them $5. And you buy a ticket, and there's usually I've been putting something in the last few, but Ralph and Lynn, they often buy boxes of chocolates and things like that, and people, they support it. Just donate little things to raffle. Nothing major, but so yeah. Through the week after work, I made them a few little boards, and all we've done is I've lasered the club logo thing in for them. So I've got a few boards, and I've put that cutting board wax on it. Now, before I give them to Jean that looks after the raffles, I'll re-wax them a couple of times, let it soak right in. These aren't boards I actually cut out myself. They're boards that, little cheese boards that, when I first got into lasers, I was trying to work out how to work them and how to set things up and all that. And I bought a few of these boards. They were $3 and $4, $5 each. I think $5 each maybe. So I bought a few of them, so I've put the logo on a couple of different shape ones for the club, and yeah, that'll be our next raffle. And the other thing I've done, you may or may not find interesting, is I've had some little bits of mirror that Brendan, the neighbour, Grumpy Dave's lad, dropped over. And so I've been playing with those, making glass or mirror coasters. And I've got it dialed in nicely. So there's the... what a prick to film. So there's the Farmall one. And so what we've done, we've just lasered the back off the mirror. So you can see that. How about, well, if I put this board behind, you might get a better way to see it. So yeah, there's a set of 4 Farmall ones I did. 4 Farmall. These will get you excited. The Ferguson system one. Bloody mirrors. The Ferguson system. I think you can get the idea of that. That's the back of it. I did an international logo like the... That looks easier to see for some reason, doesn't it? So that's the international logo. That sort of matches the engine down there. And a Rum City Vintage Machinery Club one. So I've done a set of each of those. Yeah, so then after Freya's birthday, we went out for lunch. Jude and I are off to Spotlight because what we're going to do with these is just put little felt dots on the corner of them. I was looking at putting green or red felt behind them, nice and square behind them, but because of we've burnt the back of the mirror off, it comes in, it's not a crisp, clear colour, it's sort of a bit greyish because of the sticky stuff on the back of it, and I don't like that much, so we're going to get the wad punch out and just put 4 little dots here, just so I've sanded the corners. I think they're good enough, but I've sanded the corners, and yeah, that should it'll just give the club something. I think I've done a dozen boards plus those, and that should give the club something just as a little fundraiser thing and things like that. So and it was keeping my eye in for the laser. I was thinking of putting that international logo on the side of the box for the International Famous, and that's why I was fiddling. But I'm thinking I probably won't. By the time I have the brass plaque, the one on one side saying donated by the Truscott family, we'll have the Truscott family one out where the public can see it, restored by Lance and Judy. It can come in the back there just for the members, and yeah, we'll work with that. So, but anyway, look, I'll stop rambling. I do have some footage coming up of the little baler working, just pushing a bale through. Pardon me. And yeah, I made it from scratch, the little baler. I saw one in America, and I was talking to the bloke, and the old fella, he's parked up now, but he had like little plans and that, so I bought a set of plans off him, and that gave me the rough idea of it, but and the approximate sizes of things, but I had to change it to suit myself. Yeah, the flywheel that sits on it, it's off a little old Southern Cross engine that had a smashed flywheel, and it was just a wreck engine, so I actually had to bore the guts out of the flywheel and bring it back to the 7/8 shaft I used. I made flanges for the shafts to sit on, they're all greasable flanges, and they have a TE20 gudgeon bush in them, so they're steel on brass. One of the pinion gears inside's out of a little Iseki tractor gearbox that we had apart, and the big bull gears, I found an old wreck at the scrappies, an old wreck of an old jack pump thing. So that gave me the 2 gears, and So some of the gears are this wide and the gears that run on them are this wide or that wide. That's all I could find. But look, it's fine. It's a lovely little thing to play with. But anyway, yeah, I've got a little video coming up of me just putting a bale through, and I think you might see one drop out the back, and that's about it. So look, thanks for dropping by. Yeah, today it's into that famous engine. I just want to finish that off, and I've done that extra pipe. I've put stainless mesh in places it should have and things like that. Looks like the sun's about to poke up and poke me in the eye. So I'll try and finish that today. If I give it a run later, I might have a quick clip of that to get it outside and give it a run. I still have to work on that A-frame. I haven't done anything with that. And yeah, we'll just just see what happens. I should be back on tractors soon, but I just need to clear the well, the baler and all that. I had to get it ready for a show, so I've got to make sure it works. The famous, I want to get it ready for this show. And once it's done, it can all park over the side there out of the way, and we'll get back into tractors, hopefully. Well, that's the theory. You just never know what'll happen in here. Yeah, jobs pop up and people call in and things like that, so we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll shut up. We'll catch you next week, and yeah, have a good one. Here's a little box. I've just got it sat there as a bit of a dummy run. I've got to tidy up a couple of little bits yet. The top's got just a little bow in it. We will have boards coming under it here, but I need to get that out. And when we have a look inside there, I'm setting up. I can set that up somehow. Yeah. So we're going to have a little place for the crank handle. We'll probably have a little pot of grease down inside there, and an oil can or perhaps a funnel. You have to fill it up through here. So perhaps a little funnel. But yeah, I straightened that out the other day, and it's bent again. So it must just be the wood drying out. Like, it mightn't be as dry as I thought it was. But the whole gist of it, if I come back, so that'll sit there like that, and that'll give us something to, I haven't got the lights on up this end, that'll give us something to put the stuff in for the famous engine. So hopefully I'll finish that and get them tags on and get it painted, and yeah, we'll see how we go, see what we get up to. And there's a few bales I knocked out yesterday with a little baler, but I just thought I've got a bag there with the welding rods on. I try and keep the welding rods on that bag up out of the grass so it doesn't make them rust. But the main thing is, like, this is the pulley that comes in, and I found a little shaft coupler there that goes onto the pinion. So it comes from the belt across to that pinion, then onto this reduction gear here, and then that is on the same shaft as these two here. And you'll notice one's fat and one's skinny. I have no idea why, but they're the same. And then they go onto a big bull gear down the bottom, which is on the end of the plunger, so that can come back. Yeah, so it comes back out there. So the idea is you drop something in there, and the plunger comes up, pushes it up, and pushes the bale out the back. So these bars here are bent. They should be straight, but we put some forage sorghum through it one time to try it, and it bent. But it's worked out a good thing, and that spring there, if something jams, it lets this pecker here, it's just a bit of a safety. So yeah, that's in the gearbox of it. I've got a little International Harvester sticker there just because I was into International Harvesters at the time. But yeah, good little toy. Perhaps we'll take a bit of footage when we get to the show, eh?